And welcome back to Open Your Eye. It is Open Your Eyes. Did I just say right?
Yeah, you said it right the second time.
It is a beautiful Wednesday morning, Belize, and we're enjoying ourselves this morning. We've got some wonderful conversations lined up for you. Coming up next is a conversation about the National Statistical Systems and their portal launch. As a matter of fact, we've got Dr. Leopold Perriott in, who is the Director General at SIB, and Janine Perfit, who is the modernization of the state lead specialist. I hope I got that correctly. Guys, good morning and welcome. It's so nice to see you, by the way.
Good
morning. And I'm loving that blouse.
Oh,
That's a nice blouse.
He has a soft mouth, right?
So guys, let's get on into it. The National Statistical Systems and the portal launch. What are we talking about here?
Okay, well, we have we're developing a national statistical system, and what that means, this system is a partnership between all the agencies in Belize, whether it's government agencies or private agencies that produce official statistics. Okay, and the idea is that it coordinates this activity, the collection of official statistics. It coordinates it. It makes all the definitions standardized across the system. We organize the sharing of information back and forth between the agencies, that kind of thing. So it's a system that organizes official statistics in the country.
Is this like the first time we're trying to get things on the road like this, or?
There's a system, but it was very, very loose and relaxed. And so now we have to put a handle on it and get some structure into it. And the idea then, the development is getting the structure into it. The system existed in a loose kind of fashion before, so it's a very disaggregated system. But now, since the SIB is mandated to be organizing this kind of thing, so we've taken the bull by the horns, and we're beginning to talk to people, trying to organize how we transfer information, how we standardize processes, how we make the international in conventions and definitions apply, things of that sort. And so it's a coordinating activity, it's a coordinating mechanism for statistics in the entire country.
You know, and Janine, you could jump. You could jump in any time. When it comes to statistics, a lot of folks wouldn't even be able to wrap their mind about the stats that we can garner across our country. So let's jump on into that, whereby is it agricultural wise? Is it how many transportation we've got on the road? Is it what are we talking about here?
Statistics, people when they hear statistics, they panic. Okay.
Why do you say that? Why is there a
because
panic?
it sounds like it's sort of a dry kind of area that, you know, only specialist kind of geeks mess around with.
Yeah, you need a special calculator, right?
But that isn't true. Statistics is a thing that invades our lives from when you get up in the morning. When you drink coffee this morning, right there, drinking coffee, that coffee there is obtained by way of our trade. You see? We have to pay good money to trade, and we have to know how much of that coffee we're importing. Can we make our own coffee? Do we export coffee? Where do you get it from? Okay, as you get up in the morning, when you put on your shirt, that shirt isn't made in Belize, that shirt is made from someplace else, so it's a matter of trade. Okay, when a company generates money, that goes to our national accounts. You see, so all of this stuff that we do basically is statistics. We can't get away from it. It doesn't matter how you jump. We can't get away from it. It's statistics.
So let me, go ahead. Okay.
And so what we do, we concretize this and take the fun out of it, I suppose. We concretize this and we make the different indicators. We have different indicators that we look at to track what is happening in the country. That's basically what we do. That's the official statistics.
All right.
He's a statistician and I am not. And so even that explanation is kind of difficult for people to wrap their minds around. From the IDB's point of view, the Inter-American Development Bank, it's statistics are development. You really need to know the numbers, you really need to know the data for development. How many children are going to school? How many schools do we need? How many people are vaccinated? Where are the health clinics to vaccinate people? what crops are grown, what percentage of crops are grown, what
Yeah.
do we need, and all of that data, just what you were talking about. And it's, look at things like climate change now. You know,
Yeah.
you need to begin to measure and track and look at the indicators, as Dr. Perriott said. Look at the data and bring it together and be able to make decisions based on that data. And I think that's important. And for people at home, you know, statistics are things like you're always watching TV and TV commercials. 4 out of 5 dentists prefer this toothpaste.
Yeah.
That's a statistic, and that's important. That affects your life. Are you going to buy that toothpaste? Probably. And you need to think about that. And those are the things that the IDB is looking at, how we can make these decisions, things like poverty, trade, economics, fiscal, on and on and on. It's important to our lives. It is very dry at times, but without it, you can't move ahead.
You know,
Well,
sure.
I was going to say, well, that brings up a question that I wanted to ask with the launch of the new portal. Making this information available, is it mainly something that perhaps like the government will use to drive policy, or is it things that perhaps people in the business community or, you know, ordinary people can access this information and use it, you know, as you say, to sell products or something like that too?
We believe all of the above, not only government.
All of the above. The users, we have users in all areas. We have the casual users who might just be interested in a factoid.
True.
Okay, you know, they just go and they flip a factoid and that's it. And then they have users who use it for their businesses, you know, how to handle. And then there are users who are actually researchers who want to really dig very, very deeply in the numbers and see how it affects the economy, how these things affect the economy. And so there are all kinds of users.
I like the clarity of it. I like the clarity of it for the fact that statistics works everywhere. It starts right there in the home.
Yeah.
For a man, you're a woman, you're in your home, you need to know what goes on there. Groceries wise, bills wise.
Yeah.
Now these things are actually the stats that you gather, and then you know exactly how to push forth. Now,
right.
in terms of the IDB and this launch, talk to us about the collaboration there.
So this has been a very long-standing partnership between the SIB and the IDB. We believe, as I said, that the data is to be used by policymakers and decision makers, and it's important for the development of Belize and for the development of people's lives, of improving people's lives in the country. We started to work with the National Statistical System we did an analysis in 2014, and the project is actually to build to improve the National Statistical System. And so it not only means the SIB as the lead agency for collecting the data, but all the other departments and agencies and ministries that produce data. And that's the beginning of it. But not only produce data, but we're looking at disseminating the data so that users can use it. Again, it doesn't make any sense to produce the data and collect it and put it in the portal if nobody's going to use it.
Yeah.
So we have helped put together a strategy for building the NSS and strengthening the NSS, the National Statistical System. We have had 2 grants, 2 technical cooperations in which we are providing a fair amount of technical assistance and training to the SIB and to the NSS agencies and departments. And I think, you know, 4 or 5 years later, it's a much stronger, you can't really call it an institution, but a much stronger collection of institutions. And the portal is a very good place to be right now after all the work that we've done together. I think the user, the public is going to find it very, very useful, very user-friendly, as I would say. And it's about time that that we put it out there to the public so that they can make use of it and begin to make decisions based on that.
You know, I think for a country, in order to for development, of course, you need to know where you were, you need to know where you are and where you want to go, which leads me to ask to the good doctor here, where are we as a country? Are we lagging behind in Central America, the Caribbean? Are we on par in gathering information? Where are we as a country?
That's an interesting question, and I'm always the optimist, and I think we're sometimes we knock ourselves unnecessarily, and I think in my opinion that we are doing fairly well, to my mind. And I'm the optimist.
And you know the statistics, right?
Yeah,
so
because I go to many conferences, and when I compare where we are in statistics, what other people are doing, we're ahead. We have an established Statistical Act, which many countries don't have. The Act establishes that SIB as an independent entity, and some countries don't have that. They're still in a ministry as a department of government. So it's very important to establish independence from the government, from agencies, from private and public concerns. So we have that, and we're doing a modernization. This is where the NSS comes in, a modernization exercise, and many countries don't have that. There are many areas I think that we're ahead of the pack, if you will. And so while some people look at us and say we're small and we're limited resources and what have you, I take the opposite view, and I say, I need to pat myself on your back once in a while.
You should, but it's important. I think a lot of people might feel that way because of the perception of what Belize is and how we talk about ourselves. You know, we're always, then I just so and so, or so we tend to, as a people, and not everybody does it, but we tend to actually put ourselves in the back because of who we are and where we stand, or the fact that we're Central America or Caribbean. When you're saying right now what we're doing is actually modernizing what we've got. Now, just to break that down into, so people could get the true understanding of what it is, modernizing the Statistical Institute. What are we talking about there? How can we break that down for us? Okay,
well, the first thing is to restructure the entire institute, to reconstitute the institute, to make the corporate structure of the institute compliant with modern conditions, with modern concepts, and that's the first thing. And then the other thing is to examine each and every process that goes on. When we calculate national accounts or trade or the CPI, whatever we do, to examine each of those and make those compliant with international standards. Examine them, make sure that the procedures that we use are proper and organized well, and to make them come up to international standards. Okay. So, and then the other thing we have to do is to make sure that our people are well trained. And so there's a training policy in place where, you know, a statistician has to have a certain amount of training, and then a manager has to have a certain amount of training, and things of this sort. And so it's a training issue. And then, of course, there's another issue, and this is the big one, is the other issue of getting proper offices. A corporate headquarters is a useful thing to have from time to time to run your business. Okay? And so there are these areas that we have to put in place. And so we're well on the way of doing that. The National Statistical System, we're inserting ourselves in the national framework as the leaders of statistics, of official statistics production. And so we're supposed to, according to the Act, we're supposed to organize these activities and supervise them. As a matter of fact, the Act says that the SIB is the only agency authorized to recognize official statistics.
Yes.
That's what it says. It's a very interesting act, a very strong act.
One of the things that Dr. Perriott was just talking about, training, one of the things that we've done through the IDB grant is set up a bachelor's degree at the University of Belize in statistics that is just getting going in this August, in this coming semester. Part of the program is to grant scholarships to 3 people. SIB has run a competition to choose the awardees of the scholarships. Because the country needs, we're doing all this to modernize the system, but we need statisticians too. We can talk about statistics all we want, but if there's no one to do it, then we're not in very, very good shape. So the University of Belize has this bachelor's degree in statistics. We're also developing. It has developed a certificate in GIS.
All right.
Which will also begin in August now, and so that's something very, very important. It's the first program of its kind in the Caribbean. We're hoping that we can bring others.
Well, one that exists right now, I think there probably was a Bachelor in Statistics at UWI some time ago, but that was discontinued. So probably is the only one existing at this particular time.
At this particular time.
Yes,
I remember statistics, going into college, I did a course in statistics. But you know, we can now see forward motion in where we want to take our country statistics-wise. How can one apply for this scholarship? How can we apply for this scholarship? What must I have to apply for this scholarship?
So all the rules, or SIB has all the rules. They've run the competition already. I believe that
we've chosen the people already.
Okay.
We have candidates or recipients of the scholarship at this time. But just to answer your question, you have to demonstrate that you have obtained admission to the program. You have to have serious intent, okay, before we consider you, and then of course you have to be Belizean or resident of things of this sort. No.
Okay.
So there's a requirement for a certain GPA 2.5 or something like this in a particular area that you have, and there are very, very few conditions. And we've had the competition, we've had people applying, and we've had the interviews, and we've done the selection process.
So there's an interest from Belizeans to take part in this.
The idea, of course, is to encourage people who are currently actually doing statistics in the different ministries to apply. We give them preference.
Of course.
You know, so if you're doing it already and you want to just come up to speed, and by doing the particular course, then you have a head start.
Well, of course, the reason for that is because simply I already am, I've got the platform already. I know exactly how to roll it out. But then again, it's enhancing the skills, which then enhance our way of dealing with the statistics. Ms. J?
No, I think we really do need to publicize it a bit more, and I'm very glad to be able to talk about it this morning. We would encourage all Belizeans who are interested in the program to go ahead and apply, because it is going to be very important. Statistics are just going to be, everybody talks about the data revolution, and we're talking about the sustainable government goals and the GSDS. We need statisticians. Belize needs statisticians, and the program's there. If they don't have enough people enrolled in the program, it's not going to continue on. So please, we need statisticians in Belize.
It does say here that we're doing a portal launch. So when is this launch?
This launch is this morning, isn't
it?
Wow.
This morning at 9:30, we're launching the portal. Also an improved SIB website.
Yeah, we have done some things to the website. We have put on a facility to be able to allow people to make their own tables to access. We have three census data sets on the website now. 1991 and 2000 and 2010 data sets, full data sets. And anybody who would like can go into the website and make their own tables. If you want something between gender and ethnicity and whatever you want, you can make it from the website.
Now. And what's the website?
The website is, what is it again? It's sib.org.bz.
Okay, sib.org.bz. You get the statistics on there. So at 9:30 this morning is the big launch.
That's right.
Now I feel proud to be a part of the conversation about the launch.
You're going to be there.
And I've got to say that, for Belizeans, we need to be proud of our forward motion.
Absolutely.
We're modernizing things here. You actually go to that website, you could see the statistics and how our country is growing. So where is this launch going to take place?
We're at the Fort George Radisson at 9:30 this morning.
9:30 this morning. I could see that all in the news later on.
And we have over almost 70 people, all from the NSS, so across the board, from business and from the NSS different organizations. There'll be researchers. There'll be private sector
education,
people
private
as well.
sectors.
And of course, we will be there. Yeah, that's the most important.
We'll be there.
So it's definitely going to be a festive morning for my SIB.
We're very excited about it. Yeah,
all right. Is there any other information you guys would like to share with us that we've missed out for the morning?
The only other thing is we were talking about the census, and that the census data is on the SIB website. We're also, the IDB is also supporting through another grant, preparations for the 2020 census. And the 2020 census is coming up. It's
This is
less
coming
than
up.
a year away. And
Yeah, it's less than a year. May of 2020.
2020.
right.
That is the
And
deal
it's
right
very,
there.
very important that everyone
And there
be
is
tracked.
on our website a very nice presentation for the census, so you might want to check that out.
I like the Carol Dr. Perriott. But we are so thankful that we got you guys in to discuss this launch. We know how forward our country must go. We know exactly where we want to go. And the fact that Belizeans should help each other in putting each other to that particular area.
Absolutely.
So, Ms. Janine, thank you so very much.
You.
It's nice to have you in. And Dr. Leopold Perriott, we want to thank you as well for being a part of this morning's discussion. And when we come back, we will be having a discussion on juvenile diabetes summer camp. Summer is here. Why not take advantage of what we've got in this beautiful country? Stay with us. We'll be right back.